This clip of the Texas Bucket List is brought to you by Spirit of Texas Bank, Slovacek Sausage, Germania Insurance, We Rent It, and RV Source. Howdy, and welcome to the Texas Bucket List, the show dedicated to everything there is to see, do, and experience right here in the Lone Star State. My name is Shane McAuliffe, and this week we start things off in East Texas at a museum Don Quixote would be proud of. You see, there is a town called Nederland that happened to be settled by some folks from the Netherlands, hence the reason you'll find this whimsical windmill. Down in the Golden Triangle of Southeast Texas, you'll find Nederland. And just like any town in Texas, this small Dutch community is proud of their heritage. That's why you'll find a giant windmill, proudly pushing against the winds of the Gulf Coast.
Howdy, I'm Carol. Welcome to the Nederland Windmill Museum.
Carol Culp is the curator of this crazy-looking museum that was built back in 1969.
It's 40 feet tall. It's in recognition of the Hollanders who established the town.
In 1897, Nederland was settled by a group of Dutch settlers who felt the low-lying lands of southeast Texas reminded them of their home in the Netherlands. So they named their town after their European country. Why Neder? Why isn't it just called Netherlands?
Well, this is 100 years later. You know, we got that southern accent. People from the Netherlands kind of laugh at us, but, you know, it's our town, so that's what we call it.
The museum pays tribute to the original settlers who came to the Lone Star State for a new life. But once they got a taste of the tropical heat in Texas, some weren't so Amsterdam thrilled to be here. The Dutch that were determined and had what it took to be Texans built rice farms and dairies.
When they got here, they found a little bit different climate.
Glenn Coolmay is kin to some of the original settlers.
I don't speak Dutch very well, and I have not learned how to roll my tongue properly.
But he has seen a lot of change over the years.
I remember open pastures everywhere.
Coolmay's family operated the Orange Hotel for a time, sort of a staging area for Dutch families new to the area. The hotel had a library full of Dutch books, dancing, and a lot of polka.
The family would gather on Friday night, and they'd have card games and play pinochle. And I loved to hear their Dutch brogue as they spoke.
Is it funny to you to come here into a museum and see things that you kind of grew up with on a museum shelf?
Is it fun to see? Oh, yes. It brings back a lot of memories.
Glenn fondly remembers his boyhood, helping his father run the family dairy.
When I think about it, I thought, boy, this was modern stuff at one time.
He remembers his dad slipping on the old school wooden shoes to go out into the field, and the reason his father swore by these not so flexible flippers.
Because they wear a long time.
Of course, here at the museum, you can try on a pair for yourself. And surprisingly, they're not too bad. But I'll stick with my boots.
It wasn't that they were so comfortable. It was that you could slip them off easy when you came into the house. And when you were working around the cows and in the fields, they didn't wear out. Your feet may wear out, but they didn't wear out.
The Dutch Windmill Museum is more than just a funny-looking building with a few native novelties. It's a repository of the original settlers who were strong and stubborn as any Texan to make their way of life in a world much different than which they came, even if it did happen to have the same name.
It's part of Texas heritage.
We need to remember our heritage. All of us need to remember our roots, you know, where we came from. Our mom, dad, grandma, we know who they were.
Considering Texans don't have to fly over the ocean to learn about this curious collection, it's truly worth whisking in to hear about the Hollanders who made starting a life in Texas the very first item on the 1897 version of the Texas Bucket List.
They came here and they did their best. They didn't know what they were doing, but they were doing something, and it contributed to their welfare. I'm proud of it. Proud of it.